Yep. Inside, I want to kill myself. We are on an 0-7 run over the last 2 days. After tonight, it was just complete bullshit. So that's how I'm going to start off this show. Horrible Sunday, 1-5. I don't even know what to tell you about that. I just don't want to do this anymore. I have never seen anything like this, man. With the slump continuing, 2 straight losses, not a good day at all. 0-4. I just have not had a good season, man. What can this slump that I'm on? The slump continues. I've reached a new peak, actually. I'm gonna burn my Bruins hat, man. I don't know what is going on with the Bruins. March 8th, is that what it is? I don't even know. It's March 9th, I think. Who even knows, man? I don't know what day it is anymore. I don't even know what day it is anymore, man. Back with you after the worst day that I could possibly have. Back with you, as I always am. Until I die, at least. 0-2 yesterday, and yesterday did not go well for me. 0-5. The worst month that I've ever had in my 18 years doing this. I don't know what to even tell you about this anymore. Broke the slump yesterday as the slump discontinues. The slump continues. Somebody fucking kill me, please. I don't even know what I should do at this point other than potentially end it all. What's up, everybody? It's Toad back with you. This is Bettor Off Dead, Saturday, September 13th. Is that what it is? I don't even know. Something like that. I don't know anything anymore, man. 0-4 on the show yesterday. I was not happy about it on my college football show last night, which thanks to people who showed up for that. If you want the college football analysis for today, you can go check that out. I mean, time is running out, although I'll reiterate the plays again. But if you want the analysis, you can go back and watch that. The analysis is kind of evergreen, I suppose. But yeah, yesterday was a terrible day. I mean, I don't know what to say. Both of those unders were not even close in baseball. The Atlanta Braves, not even close. Dude, I don't understand how baseball is running so poorly right now. Like, baseball is in one of my better sports, and it's just been absolutely nightmarishly bad. I have no fucking idea what's going on. I'm going to have 2 more baseball plays today, so those will probably also lose. College football, I think we're back to either 500 or 1 game below 500 because Kansas State couldn't get it done. It was a close game on the scoreboard, but the game was not actually that close. Kansas State, I think we might have to admit that Kansas State is actually terrible. Like, I don't even know what to say. They got absolutely annihilated, like, statistically, by this really bad Arizona team. We might have to say UCLA is really bad, too, as UCLA got obliterated. I mean, I don't know, dude, I have no idea what's going on. It's just very strange. College football today, again, you can go watch my college football show from last night, but we're going to be on Temple plus 24, Missouri State plus 28, Miami of Florida minus 17.5. I know we missed a little bit of the better numbers on these ones, but I still think Miami runs away with that game. And then Vandy plus 3. I know it would have been better to get the 4.5, but I still think Vandy, really good shot to just win that game outright. So those are the games there. Charles, welcome back again. Good morning. We're going to talk, this is going to be all baseball on this show because that's all we have. I think WNBA playoffs start tomorrow. It's Saturday, so it's all pretty much college football, so there's no NFL. We can look at the market for college football real quick, I guess, if we want to, just to double-check those plays real quick. Temple, you can see here, I mean, they're still looking good in the market there. Oklahoma, very public with less of the cash on them, 73% of the tickets and 54% of the cash, so that looks good. Missouri State, 84% of the tickets and 79% of the cash on SMU, so they're looking like a public side as well. Miami of Florida here at 17.5. I still don't think you'll be able to get the 17 again, but they got 55% of the cash, 60% of tickets public on South Florida, so that looks good as well. I mean, sometimes I won't go with the market, but still, I'm just, I like to use it as a double check at least. Vandy has 63% of the cash, 51% of tickets are on South Carolina, so those are all looking pretty good to me, so I like where we stand on those. I did mention I do like UMass plus the 35 or whatever. Iowa, I mean, I just don't even know if Iowa could score enough points to even cover that. I mean, I doubt that Iowa loses, obviously. They're probably going to be one of my survivor picks for today, or for this week. But, I mean, I don't see them covering that number. They just can't score, man. Wisconsin, by the way, They are still the anti-public side, but one thing to keep in mind with Wisconsin is it looks like their quarterback is out again, but I'm not really sure how much that matters, to be honest. It hasn't really moved the line that much. Their backup quarterback, when he was in there against Miami, Ohio, he actually played better than their starting quarterback. So I honestly don't know if the quarterback situation actually is that much of a downgrade for Wisconsin. So I probably would still lean to Wisconsin there, but it's just something to point out. I mean, plus it could be like an injured player theory spot where Wisconsin knows, we need to step up now and play for our, injured quarterback there. And then, I don't know what the other ones are. I did like Arkansas State a decent amount. That one looks okay as well at this point. And Delaware, but the Delaware number's gotten away from everybody, but that still looks like the right side. And then I think I mentioned one other side that I liked, but I can't remember what it was now. I don't know. I'm trying to remember what I talked about yesterday, where I was like, I kind of want to play this. That is probably the rundown there. That's probably all I can do for now as far as that is concerned. Go check out the college football show from last night, man, where we broke down all those games in detail. This is going to be Major League Baseball today. It's all baseball from now on. Let's do it, man. Let's do the breakdown. I don't love this baseball board. I don't know if I love my baseball plays here, but we're going to get into it right now. I kind of like analyzing it still. So, first game up, we have a couple of afternoon games, actually, some afternoon games. Saturday is mostly evening, but of course, the earliest game is at Wrigley Field. It's another afternoon game in Wrigley. Tampa at Chicago. The Cubs, a little bit more to play for here. They've won 3 games in a row. They won yesterday to start this series with a 6-4 win. The Cubs, they could potentially still get their division, man, so they're still playing for it. Tampa Bay is not technically eliminated, but I think Tampa Bay kind of knows they're not going to make the playoffs, so the Cubs are more in the thick of the race there. Analyzing the stats, that's what I've always done. Yeah, just my autism leads me to do it, man. The Cubs, both teams have actually pretty solid bullpens for the most part here, so the bullpen situation, I don't know if it's really advantageous one way or the other, although Tampa used more relief pitchers yesterday, so heavier bullpen usage on the side of Tampa. Cubs have the better offense here. I lean to Tampa as far as their starter, though, which is Drew Rasmussen. He's having a good season, 2.64 ERA, 0.98 whip. Very good whip. He's slightly worse on the road, 2.72 ERA, but that's still pretty good. His strikeout walk ratio this month is a little bit concerning over the last couple of starts. 4 strikeouts, 3 walks. He just hasn't struck out a lot of guys, man. He allowed 3 solo home runs against Seattle, but that was in Tampa's ballpark. Both of the starts that he made this month, were in Tampa. So in that horrible spring training stadium they play in, Steinbrenner Field. Rasmussen, Tampa's been doing a good job, like kind of managing his load. It never sounds good when I say that, but they don't overwork him. They pretty much let him go 5-6 innings, let him go somewhere in the neighborhood of 80 pitches, and they take him out. They don't force him to overexert or overextend himself. Aside from that game against Seattle, he'd allowed 2 or fewer earned runs in every single outing, going all the way back to the All-Star break for the most part. To the All-Star break, but a couple of those were kind of shortened starts there. But he is pitching well. Against the Chicago Cubs, he has pretty solid numbers here, but only 16 at-bats, so it's a small sample size. No extra base hits allowed, 4 strikeouts, 2 walks, 250 batting average allowed, 583 OPS. So I think we could trust Rasmussen in this game, at least while he's in there. I don't know if we trust Tampa's overworked bullpen, though. Cubs have Colin Ray making the start. He's been mediocre this year, 4.2 ERA, 1.31 whip. He's been slightly better at home, 4.03 home ERA. Good last outing for him against Washington. I gave up 1 earned run in 5 1/3 innings, 6 strikeouts, no walks. But the couple of starts prior to that were pretty ugly. Against Atlanta and San Francisco, he didn't make it 5 innings in either. He allowed 9 runs total across 8 2/3, so he wasn't effective at all in those starts. And he walked he walked the same amount that he struck out. And he walked more than he struck out in the start before that against Milwaukee. But it's more damning to not pitch well against San Francisco and Atlanta, I would say. So Ray, I don't think he's that good, man. He's got a small sample size against Tampa, 14 at-bats, 1 strikeout, 2 walks. He's allowed a home run to Palacios, 286 batting average allowed, and 946 OPS. So the numbers there are at least not that great for Ray. I think Rasmussen in the first 5 innings probably has the edge, and it looks like the money is coming in on Tampa. Tampa's flipped from plus 109 to minus 110, even though they're the road team here. 80% of the cash on them, 63% of tickets on the Cubs. I don't disagree with Tampa, but I would limit it to the first 5 innings because I'm worried about their overworked bullpen. So I think the biggest edge you get with Tampa is the starting pitching matchup. So I do agree with Tampa, first 5 innings money line in that game. That is probably, that's the way that I would look in that game if I was going to play it. Baltimore at Toronto. Toronto got the win yesterday. Toronto's still hanging on to the AL East lead. Barely. I still think the Yankees are probably going to win the division, unfortunately. And the Red Sox might lose their wild card position, which is also really bad. Red Sox, too many injuries, too. I had said the Red Sox wouldn't make the playoffs, and it looked like they were 80-something% to make the playoffs, but now they're not. Toronto, 6-1 win yesterday over Baltimore. Toronto has something to play for, obviously. They're trying to make the playoffs here. Baltimore arguably will show up for a game against Toronto as well, though. It's a divisional matchup at least, and they're playing the top team in the division, at least record-wise. Baltimore only used 2 relief pitchers yesterday, and their better relievers did not really come into the game, or did not. Toronto used more of their relief pitchers. They used 5. They had the prior day off. Toronto's bullpen hasn't really been that good, though. Neither bullpen is really that good. Baltimore probably does have a slight bullpen edge, though, in this one, just because their better pitchers are more rested. Toronto has the way better offense. And starting pitching, both of these pitchers have had their moments this year, I guess we would say. Tomoyuki Sugano is pitching for the Orioles, 4.51 ERA, 1.34 whips. That whip is definitely too high. This is his first season in the majors. It's been up and down, but he hasn't been awful. He's a little bit worse on the road, though, 4.75 road ERA. His last few starts were not very good, especially his last 2. Actually, he got blasted for 7 runs against San Francisco on the road in 3 1/3 innings in a pitcher-friendly park. That's not good. And then didn't do well against the Dodgers last time out either. Gave up 3 earned runs, all on solo home runs. Sugano does look like he's kind of falling back out of form again, and Toronto has seen him because he's in the division, so they've faced him this year already. They have 20 at-bats against him. They have no strikeouts, 2 walks, 300 average, and 764 OPS. So Sugano has not been that successful facing this Toronto lineup, and now they're more familiar with him too. So that's not great for him. He's going up against the veteran Max Scherzer, who's been pretty good for the most part this season, although less good recently. 4.36 ERA, 1.16 whip. Not terrible. He's a little bit worse at home, 4.5 ERA. Last couple of starts, he did not last past 4 1/3 innings in either one of them. Against Milwaukee and the Yankees, though, those are good offenses, but he allowed 4 earned runs in each of them. He had only a 9-4 strikeout walk ratio over that span, so he seems to be a bit out of form right now, too, although at least the good thing for him is that Baltimore is a step down offensively from those last 2 teams that he faced, so he might bounce back and do better here. His numbers are good against Baltimore in 43 at-bats, 16-2 strikeout walk ratio. Both home runs he's allowed are both from Cowser. 140 batting average allowed, 480 OPS, although keep in mind that those numbers are pretty much in the past, so not with Scherzer being this old, unless he faced Baltimore this year, too. I don't know if he has, actually. Let me see if he has. He did. He only faced him for 3 innings in his first outing way back in March, though. So there's not really a whole lot you can take away from that, I wouldn't say. So overall, he does do well against Baltimore, but he's in bad form right now and hasn't faced them this year, and he is a bit older. The money does seem to be coming in on Toronto anyway, though, up from minus 165 to minus 168. 85% of the tickets, 99% of the cash coming in on Toronto. So the money is coming in at Toronto. I think it might be a little bit too high of a price to pay. I mean, everybody knows Toronto's the better team here. They are public. Does seem like the money is agreeing with it, though. I find it hard to disagree with Toronto at least having the starting pitching edge here, though. So maybe you could look towards maybe a run line first 5 innings. Money seems to be coming in on the over, so maybe you could actually go Toronto over their team total in the first 5 innings because it seems more predictable that Toronto will be able to score off of Sagano plus Baltimore's bullpen, even though Baltimore's bullpen is the more rested bullpen. I don't trust Toronto's bullpen either, though. So, I mean, I don't really necessarily disagree with an over on the full game either. 92% of tickets, 94% of the cash on the over. Scherzer might not last like really that long in the game either. So then you get Toronto's not great bullpen coming into the equation there. So it does seem like an over is possible there as well. Pittsburgh, Washington, I mentioned an over in this game, and it went over because the bullpens really allowed some runs yesterday. It was a low-scoring game early, and then the game still went over. Washington got a 6-5 win, even though it was a return home spot for them, so it wasn't really the greatest spot for them, but they still got the win. These teams are both definitely out of it. They're both playing out the stretch, even though I know the only two teams that are technically eliminated right now, mathematically, completely, are Colorado and the White Sox, but still, I mean, these two teams are not far behind that. They're both just playing out the stretch. Neither of these bullpens are great, although Pittsburgh's is the better bullpen. Washington's is pretty bad. Both teams used a few relief pitchers yesterday, nothing crazy. So Pittsburgh has a bullpen edge here. Washington has the better offense out of the two, although neither offense is really that great. The starting pitching is interesting here. We have two guys that don't have a whole lot of experience in the majors. Bubba Chandler is pitching for Pittsburgh. He is one of their young prospects that they're trying to get him into the starting rotation now. I think they had him in the bullpen at first, but it hasn't gone well for him so far. 7.36 ERA, 1.5 whip. I didn't really go and look at his scouting, but I know he's a pretty highly touted prospect. He does have a 0 road ERA so far this year. He's only made 1 road appearance, but it was his best. He went 4 innings, allowing 1 hit, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk against St. Louis. But St. Louis, they're a pretty bad offense. So something to keep in mind there, although the Nats are not a good offense either. His last 2 outings, he didn't do that well, but it was against the Dodgers, and then he got completely blown up by Milwaukee, although Milwaukee is a good offense, obviously, and so are the Dodgers. But I'm not ready to really trust Chandler, although obviously Washington has no experience against him, so he does at least have the edge where he's unfamiliar to the opposing hitters. Tends to be an edge because those hitters have to take a while to try to figure the guy out. And I think that might be the case with Washington's starter here as well, Andrew Alvarez. So I think this is his first season in the majors as well. He's a little bit older, though. 1.86 ERA, 0.93 whip. He's been decent so far. He had a 5-inning shutout in his first start in the majors against Miami, which was pretty good. Took a little bit of a step back last time out against the Cubs, gave up 2 earned runs in 4 2/3. We know the Cubs have a better offense than Miami does. The biggest concern with Alvarez is the walks. He has 6 strikeouts, 5 walks so far in 9 2/3 innings. Hasn't allowed a lot of hits at all, 4 hits, but the walks are a little bit of a concern. His numbers overall still look pretty good, though, and he's facing a weak Pirate lineup here, and they, of course, have never seen him before either. So it's kind of hard to figure out what you're going to get out of these pitchers, man. Pittsburgh they've gotten the money. They flipped from plus 107 to minus 108. 57% of tickets, 97% of the cash coming in on Pittsburgh, even though Chandler really hasn't been that good so far. But the public's going to look at that and see Chandler's ERA is way worse than Alvarez, and they might want to be on the Washington side more so, although it looks like the public is slightly on Pittsburgh, but the money is way more on Pittsburgh. I mean, the public might not really be playing this game. It's not really an enticing game, really, for the public bettors because they like to bet games that they're going to watch, too, and this game doesn't look like a game anybody's going to want to watch. Although I do think the starting pitching matchup is interesting. I do think it could be closer than what the starting pitchers' ERAs might lead you to believe. Pittsburgh does have the better bullpen, so if you do like Pittsburgh, the full game money line would make sense. Money's coming in on the over a little bit, too. It's up from 8.5 to 9. Juice to the over. 91% of tickets, 98% of the cash on the over. I'm not even sure I agree with that, man, because if the money's coming in towards Pittsburgh and both starters are kind of these young guys who are unfamiliar, and both offenses aren't that good, I could potentially see at least the first 5 in this game not being that high scoring, kind of like yesterday. I could see an under in the first 5 innings potentially here, and then I wouldn't want to include the bullpens in that under, though, if I was going to do that. So some thoughts on that game. Hopefully my thoughts are helpful. Detroit at Miami. Man, Miami got the win yesterday. Sandy Alcantara had a pretty good start yesterday. Miami 3 wins in a row. And Tarik Skubal got hurt in that game, which, is me not liking the Yankees here. I do not like anything that hurts other AL playoff teams here, because I want the other teams to be at full strength. And Skubal, he's a Cy Young. He's probably going to win the Cy Young here, man. So he better not be seriously hurt. He had a pretty bad game yesterday against Miami. He wasn't very good. He exited the game early. I think I don't know. It seemed like it could be like an oblique strain or something like that. I'm not exactly sure what it was. Hopefully it's not that serious. So that remains to be seen. I mean, Detroit is still playing for playoff positioning, at least, although they do have a big lead in their division. So maybe they're somewhat on cruise control here, and they don't really care that much about playing Miami. Miami knows that they're out of it, although they seem to be showing up for these games recently. They've won 3 in a row, like I said. With Detroit coming into their place, it's a spot where maybe they will put in some more effort here. Detroit has the better of the two bullpens, although neither bullpen is really that terrific. Both bullpens are pretty rested, though, so the bullpens are in okay shape here. The starting pitching, I don't know about this, man. Charlie Morton pitching for Detroit. The Morton magic seems to be gone now, though. His overall numbers are obviously bad. 5.59 ERA, 1.53 whip. He's slightly better on the road, 5.49 ERA this year. His season has been all over the place, man. He started the season with Baltimore. He was awful at the beginning of the season. Looked like his career was over. I always talk about this when we talk about him. He got sent to the bullpen, and then it like resurrected his season. They put him back in the starting rotation. He was actually really good for a while. Basically through the trade deadline, Detroit picked him up. He continued to pitch fairly well for Detroit for a while, but recently he has not been good anymore, man. He's allowed 3 or more runs in his last 3 outings now. His outings this month have been awful. He has a 12.15 ERA in 2 starts this month, not even lasting 4 innings in either of them, 5 strikeouts, 7 walks. He's been awful this month. One of the starts was against the Mets. They do hit pretty well, but also was really bad against the White Sox. That's not good. Both those starts are at home, but it looks like Morton, he might be tiring out again at the end of the season here, man, even though I know he's a veteran. So he is used to pitching long seasons, but he is not in form right now. His numbers against Miami are good, though, and they have not really seen a whole lot of him. Only 3 of their hitters have seen him for actually 2, really, because Alcantara probably doesn't really count. Overall, including Alcantara, they're 3 for 13 off him with 1 strikeout, 1 walk, although those are both Alcantara. I don't know how Alcantara walked against Morton, but overall they have a 231 batting average, 516 OPS off Morton, and maybe Morton has a little bit of an edge just because Miami hasn't really faced him before for the most part. But I'm not ready to trust him, man, because he's not in good form. Jansen Junk is pitching for Miami. 4.48 ERA this year. 1.18 whip is pretty good, though. And that's he's been in the starting rotation for a while now, but he also was in the bullpen for a while earlier in the season. He's been worse at home, though. 5.32 ERA at home. That's not good. He hasn't been very good in his last couple starts. He's allowed 3 or more earned runs in every start going all the way back to late July now, although he allowed exactly 3 for a long stretch last month. His first start this month was pretty ugly against Washington. Not a good offense, and he allowed 6 earned runs in 4 1/3 innings. 3 strikeouts, 2 walks. So, yeah, I mean, Junk, he hasn't looked that good for a while, man. 5.86 ERA last month. He's definitely starting to struggle a bit. Detroit hasn't really seen him a whole lot. Only 2 of their hitters have faced him before, but they are 2 for 4 with a double. No walks, no strikeouts. Even though there's some unfamiliarity here with these pitchers, this game kind of looks like an over to me, man. But the money's disagreeing with that. Totals dropped from 9 to 8.5. Slight tick downward, though. 9 juice to the under, 8.5 juice to the over. 84% of tickets, 65% of the cash on the over. So money seems to be disagreeing with the over, but I think the over makes sense here to me. I mean, you have a couple of kind of mediocre bullpens. I really don't like the starters, and that could just kind of domino effect into the bullpens. Detroit is a road favorite, which makes sense. They're down from -135 to -121, though. 90% of tickets, 98% of the cash. I don't know about that cash percentage. To me, it looks like that's legit market movement on this against a public Detroit team that really, I mean, does Detroit really deserve to be a favorite like that on the road with Morton as their starter? They probably don't, even though Detroit obviously does have the better offense here, and they are the better overall team. And generally, they do have the better bullpen as well. But it looks like too much of a price to lay in a pitching matchup like that. So we will see. Yankees, Red Sox, my Boston Red Sox, losing the game yesterday. I did mention it was a difficult spot as they were returning home from the Pacific Coast, so the schedule makers didn't do the Red Sox any favors in that one. It was basically revenge for the Yankees, though, because the Red Sox were 8-2 against the Yankees this season, I believe. Red Sox have already clinched the season series against them, but the Red Sox are behind them by 1.5 games now in the wild card race. Red Sox need to continue winning, man, and there is still the potential that either of these teams could technically win the AL East, although I don't think the Red Sox have like an actual shot to do that because I don't think they're that good. The Red Sox do have the better bullpen out of these two teams, so at least they have that going for them. Starting pitching, I don't think the Red Sox have the edge here. Offensively, the Yankees have the edge, although the Red Sox offense is decent. They're better at home, too, but the Red Sox, I mean, their offense is going to suffer with some of these injuries they have, man. The Red Sox are just way, way too injured right now. Who killed it last night? Miami. They killed your bet or whatever. DeRealis Clark on Kent State. Man, Kent State, they're in some really ugly game today, I think, against Kent State is playing some really bad team today. I'm like, man, that's going to be an awful, awful game. I forget who they're playing. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have put the money on Detroit last night. I mean, you're always going to pay pretty much a premium, a tax for Skubal. You're not really going to get value most of the time on Skubal. So it's hard to play Detroit when he's starting. Yeah, Kool-Aid McToad straight. Yeah, I'm white, though, so my name is not going to be anything resembling that. Max Fried is pitching for the Yankees here. I mean, he's been good on the season, obviously. 3.02 ERA, 1.1 whip. He's a little bit worse on the road, 3.52 road ERA, so he's more beatable on the road at least. He had a stretch where he wasn't very good in the middle of the season. He was really good at the beginning of the season, wasn't very good for July and then into August. He's pitched way better in his last 4 starts, though. He's gone 6 or more innings in all of them, 7 or more in the last 3. Yankees winning all 3 of those. He picked up a win in all 3, and he allowed 3 or fewer earned runs in all 4 of those last 4 outings. 1 or fewer in the prior 3 until the last one where he allowed 3 earned runs against Toronto and still got the win there. His walk rate is still too high, though. So over that span, he's been much better again, but he's got a 22 to, 9 strikeout walk ratio. So that's not horrible, but the walk rate is still too high for him. He was good against the Red Sox last time out at Yankee Stadium. The Red Sox still won the game, which this was the same pitching matchup. I think it was Fried against Bayo, and Bayo dueled him, and they both didn't allow any runs. And I think the Red Sox scored a run off of the Yankees bullpen and won the game. But Fried shut them out for 6 innings, even though he did walk 3 guys. Fried is good against the Red Sox in 63 at-bats, a 20-9 strikeout walk ratio, though. Pretty similar to his recent strikeout walk ratio. It's too many walks again, but he has held him to a 206 batting average and 651 OPS. Both home runs from the Red Sox against him have come from Trevor Story. Fried generally, though, obviously, as you can see right there, he does well against the Red Sox, Brian Bayo pitching for the Red Sox. He's not as good as Fried, although he's having a decent season. He's having his best season. 3.12 ERA, 1.21 whip. His problem has always been walks. He puts too many guys on base, and he kind of escapes with a lot of ground balls and stuff. He definitely started pitching better, though, towards the middle of the season. He's actually slightly better on the he's slightly worse at home, 3.19 ERA at home, but still, he's pretty good either way. As I said, he battled Fried in that last game against the Yankees. He shut them out for 7 innings, so he actually out-dueled Fried by an inning in that game. Bayo has actually been pretty good against the Yankees. Overall, I don't think he is that good, really. He was really good in August with a 2.27 ERA, 25 to 6 strikeout walk ratio. He strung together 2 really good months after, even though his ERA was low the entire season, he was walking way too many guys early in the season. So the advanced analytics guys and even me were like, this guy's going to regress. But he did figure something out because he has been pitching better. Although this month he hasn't been quite as good. 4.91 ERA, 6 to 4 strikeout walk ratio. That's pretty ugly. Not a lot of strikeouts, too many walks, too many runs allowed. One of those starts was at Arizona, which is a difficult place to pitch, but he actually pitched better in that one. He was worse at home against Cleveland, so go figure. But again, he does pitch well against the Yankees. He's still generally pitching pretty well. He's allowed 3 or fewer earned runs in his last 5 starts. So the Red Sox have won all of those outings, and he's picked up a win in 3 of them. Against the Yankees, like I said, numbers pretty good. 113 at bats, 36 to 12 strikeout walk ratio is decent. 230 batting average, 649 OPS. So he's done well against the Yankees, although I don't think he's as good as Fried, though. So I believe the money is coming in on the Yankees, unfortunately. They're up from minus 127 to minus 135, but you're kind of paying a Yankee tax, man, especially with Fried on the mound, so maybe the price is a little bit too high there, especially given that the Red Sox do have a bullpen edge. And if you happen to get both starters kind of dueling each other and keeping the game close, the Red Sox might wind up having the edge later in the game. 80% of tickets, 95% of the cash coming in on the Yankees, though. So the money is coming in on the Yankees. I mean, I'm going to stay away from. I don't even have really a huge opinion on the side. Although I think if you like the Yankees, you got to do it in the first 5 innings. I think it'll be close though, and you have to lay a favorite price on that. So I don't think it's worth it really to do that because I don't think there's a huge disparity in the starting pitching there. But also, obviously, if you play the Yankees, I think you have to exclude their bullpen from the equation, though. Possibly a first 5 inning under could be a way to look here. The money is coming in on the under. 67% of tickets on the over. 68% of the cash on the under. Total did flip from 8.5 juice to the under to 8.5 juice to the over. I could see this going under in the first 5, though. I wouldn't really want to deal with the Yankees bullpen later in the game, but I could see both pitchers doing fairly well again, and the game being low scoring through the first 5. We will see, though. Capri Sun, yeah. Dude, I like Capri Suns, man. I mean, that was like a childhood staple growing up like through the 90s and whatever in the pouches. I loved the Capri Sun, man. It was, yeah. I'm trying to remember like what the best Capri Sun flavors were, man. I think, was it like Pacific Cooler or something like that had like some pineapple going on? I think it's one that they might not even make anymore, if I remember correctly, something like that. That was a good one. I always liked the cherry one, like the black cherry or whatever. I am a cherry guy. And then, I don't know, I forget what else they had. I know Fruit Punch was pretty much a staple. I didn't mind that one. I forget what else they had, man. But there was they had multiple different coolers, and one of them was really good. I forget which one. I don't remember exactly, though. Yeah, Rangers and Mets, I'm going to give it a play on that one, so we'll hold that for the end of the show. Royals at Philadelphia. Philadelphia's won 5 games in a row now. They did not suffer a letdown yesterday against the Royals here after sweeping the Mets. Philadelphia on fire right now. They've won 8 of their last 9 games, even though Philadelphia could be on cruise control right now because they have a 12-game lead over the Mets now in the division. The Mets have totally collapsed again. The Mets are just unbelievably streaky. Philadelphia's streaking themselves right now. Philadelphia really trying to catch up to the Brewers, so they seem like they're actually playing with some intent here, although Kansas City, they're still in the wild card race, so they still have reason to play here, as they're not really out of it yet. They're still kind of hanging around in there. They're not mathematically eliminated. They're within a reasonable distance of the wild card still. Kansas City has the better of these 2 bullpens, but they used 4 relief pitchers yesterday. They've seen some pretty heavy usage, although they used hardly anybody on Thursday, though, so it's not that bad, I guess. Philadelphia has the worst of the 2 bullpens. They did use 4 relief pitchers yesterday. So Kansas City probably does have the bullpen edge. Philadelphia has a significantly better offense, though, obviously. Starting pitching, probably you give the edge to Kansas City here with Ryan Bergere pitching, although he hasn't been as good recently either. They picked him up from San Diego around the trade deadline. There was a reason why San Diego didn't really want to hold on to him. He's got a 3.48 ERA, 1.23 whip. Not bad, obviously. Not as good on the road, 3.65 road ERA. He was pitching pretty well. After Kansas City got him, he'd allowed 2 or fewer earned runs in 6 straight outings, and then in his last outing, he got absolutely bombed by Cleveland for 8 runs in 3 1/3 innings. Cleveland, not a good offense, although they've been pretty hot right now, but that's not a good sign. It's also not a good sign that he has 9 strikeouts and 6 walks across 2 starts this month, so Bergere, he's walking too many guys now, man, so he seems to be coming out of form here, which worries me. 9.72 ERA this month. Definitely worrisome, although I know it's only 2 starts worth, so it's not a big sample size, but he is not in good recent form. His numbers against Philly are hard to gauge because it's only 13 at bats, so they haven't really faced him that much. 6 strikeouts, 1 walk is pretty good for him. 231 average, that's pretty good, but 978 OPS because he's allowed home runs to Castellanos and Schwarber, 2 of the usual suspects on Philadelphia there. So I'm not sure that Berger is totally trustworthy here, man, and I don't think Taijuan Walker for the Phillies is trustworthy either. He's got a 4.03 ERA, 1.38 whip. His whip is definitely too high. I mean, he's still kind of a serviceable pitcher, and they kind of need him to be in their rotation now with Wheeler injured, which is definitely going to hurt Philly. Philly having Wheeler not there anymore and their bullpen not really that good, that could hurt Philly once it comes to the playoffs, man. Walker, he is a walker. He does put too many guys on base via the walk and otherwise. 4.25 ERA at home, so he is a little bit worse at home. Hasn't really been good over his last 3 starts. 4 or more in runs allowed in each of them. Very low strikeout rate. The walk rate is too high. He has more walks this month than strikeouts. 4 walks, 3 strikeouts, and an 8.1 ERA. One of the starts is against Milwaukee. They're a good offense, so maybe you give them a little bit of a pass for that. Kansas City is not a good offense. He didn't do very well against Miami last time on either, though. At least he got them through 6 innings, though, and kept them in the game. But against Miami, that wasn't that impressive, giving up 4 earned runs. His numbers are mediocre against the Royals in his career, 69 at-bats, 13-8 strikeout-walk ratio. Not a great ratio. 275 batting average, 713 OPS. It's not a high OPS, but he doesn't exactly do great against them. So this game, I mean, my thoughts on this game are kind of leaning towards the over. The total's gone up from 9 to 9.5, so you would have to go over the 9.5 on that. 9 is a key number in baseball, so it would be much more preferable to go over a 9 than 9.5 because 9 is what breaks the 4-4 tie. 97% of tickets, 98% of the cash on the over. The public is on the over, but in this one, I'm not quite sure that they're actually wrong. So, I mean, I could see the over happening in this one. Both bullpens a little bit untrustworthy right now. I don't really trust either starter either. So I could see that game going over. Philly is down from minus 145 to minus 140. 88% of tickets, 96% of cash. So they are public. But it looks like maybe some of the cash coming in on Philly. That's hard to gauge, though, man. I'm not sure that I would trust Walker over Berger, even though Berger has been worse recently. I mean, they both haven't really been very good recently. So I think Berger is actually still probably the better starter. So, I mean, I wouldn't really disagree with leaning towards Kansas City on the money line in this game, even including their bullpens. But I think the preferable way to look at that game is an over. But we'll see how good I am at gauging this stuff at this point because it hasn't been good. You have 4 kids. That's awesome, man. You're buying a lot of Capri Suns. Do you buy them in bulk? Do you go to like Costco, something like that? They probably have them at Costco, right? So you can buy the Capri Suns in bulk, man, and you'll get a discount. Anna, what's up? Thanks for hanging out again. Even though I know you don't like sports ball, I'm in your algo again. All right, that's because you're in my DMs. That bumps people in the algo when you're DMing people. They show up in the algo. White Sox Cleveland. I'm actually going to give out a play on that game, so that'll be in the best bet segment. Arizona at Minnesota. These are 2 teams with bad bullpens, man, and that showed up yesterday. So we had a close, high-scoring game with Minnesota winning the game 9-8. I mean, these teams know they're not going anywhere. These 2 teams are playing out the stretch. Minnesota was returning home from a road trip from the Pacific Coast, and they still got the win, which is interesting. Clemens hit 3 home runs in that game. Is he Roger Clemens' son? I actually don't even know if he is or if he isn't. But he hit 3 home runs in the game for Minnesota. I think he actually might be. I would have to look at that. But he's not a pitcher. He's a batter. I forget what position he even plays, but he did have 3 home runs in the game yesterday. So we know we have 2 bad bullpens here, which kind of automatically makes me think over when I think of a game like this. Arizona used a bunch of their relief pitchers yesterday, too. Minnesota used 4 of theirs as well, though they didn't use any yesterday, or excuse me, the day before that, Thursday. But the bullpens are bad, so I mean, I could definitely see there being a lot of runs scored again in this game in the later portions of the game. Looking at the starting pitching, I actually think that both starting pitchers might be fadeable here, too. So I actually do think the over is the best way to look at this. Ryan Nelson is pitching for Arizona. I think this could be a sneaky over, actually. I mean, it was close to being a play for me, actually, because both starting pitchers have good numbers on the season, but there are reasons to fade both of them here. Nelson, 3.48 ERA this year, 1.05 whip, and I've mentioned that it's a big time outlier season for him. I don't really get it, but there was that incident where he had like whatever was on his hat there. It looked like he was using pine tar. He could be using foreign substances, man, at home. I don't really understand why. Like Arizona's pitching, they all got worse this year, except Nelson inexplicably got better. Makes no sense. It makes no sense that he pitches better at home in a hitter-friendly park. So there's something going on there, in my opinion. He is worse on the road, 4.67 road ERA, so he is more fadeable in a spot like this. He's still pitching fairly well over the last couple months. I mean, he did have a 27-4 strikeout walk ratio in August. 10-4 this month isn't as good, but he's allowed 3 or fewer earned runs in 4 starts in a row. So he's been okay. I had a 4.6 ERA last month, which wasn't that good. But yeah, I mean, generally he is pitching all right. But he might be fadeable on the road, though. In Minnesota, only 17 at bats, small sample size. Even though their offense isn't that good, they have hit him pretty well. They only have 1 strikeout against him, no walks, 353 batting average allowed, and 957 OPS. So they haven't been able to get to Ryan Nelson in the limited sample size that they faced him. So they might be able to hit him again here, and he is worse on the road, like I said. So there is a chance there. Arizona does have the better offense here than Minnesota does. They're going up against Joe Ryan. Joe Ryan Nelson in this game. Joe Ryan is pitching for Minnesota. He is their ace. He is really good. 3.32 ERA, 1.01 whip. Good stuff. He is better at home, 3.18 ERA at home. But he hasn't been as good recently, man. 3 of his last 4 starts, he's allowed 5 or more earned runs. So it seems like with his team out of it, getting towards the end of the season, maybe a little bit of a lapse there for Ryan, even though he was still good with his strikeout walk ratio over that span. It was still actually really good. 23-3 in those 3 starts to end August, even though he allowed a bunch of runs over that span. This month, not so much, though. In his 1 start, which was against Kansas City, a very weak lineup, he gave up 5 earned runs in 2 innings on the road in a pitcher-friendly park at Kansas City. 2 strikeouts, 4 walks. I got some concerns about Joe Ryan coming into this one, man. Arizona, they don't have a whole lot of experience against him. 11 at-bats against him. 273 batting average, 818 OPS, no strikeouts, no walks, and a home run from Marte. So it is possible that Joe Ryan doesn't do particularly well in this game. The money line dropped on Minnesota from -148 to -137. 68% of tickets and 88% of the cash on Minnesota. So they are taking the money. I don't know if I really see that. I mean, I guess I see the argument that Ryan is still better than Ryan Nelson. Nelson not good on the road. So, I mean, I understand wanting to back Joe Ryan at home. I would go, I mean, you could, I guess, go full game if you wanted to do that, because I do think Minnesota still has the better of the 2 bullpens, too, even though they suck. But my preference in this game is the over. Total is pretty reasonable. It's just sitting at 8, although it is juiced to the over, but it's in no man's land. They're not on a key number. 88% of tickets, 97% of the cash on the over, so the public is on the over, but they're not always wrong, and it looks like the money is joining them on that one. Yeah, all the homies sliding to my DMs. Yeah, mostly men, obviously. Clemens has Kobe and Cody, so that is one of his sons. Where's his other son at? I don't even know. 2 in the majors and 4 sons overall. All right, interesting to know. I don't know too much. I should know more about Clemens, though. He was a little bit before my time when he was on the Red Sox, though. I mean, his glory days with the Red Sox were mostly like in the 80s when I was like way too young. I remember him a bit, and then I mostly remember us starting to hate him because he left the Red Sox, and then he went to Toronto and the Yankees, and we really hated him when he was on the Yankees. And then he went to Houston, I believe, right? And did they win Worlds? No, they lost the World Series to the White Sox, right? Houston did. Am I remembering that right? I think so. When I was in college, I think Clemens was still pitching in 2005 or whatever it was. I think he was on Houston. I think they lost to the White Sox in the World Series after the White Sox eliminated the Red Sox, if I remember correctly. Maybe I misremembered all of that, though. Speaking of Houston, they're at Atlanta. I don't even want to talk about this series after what happened yesterday. I don't know what the hell that was. Atlanta, they've lost 3 games in a row. I mean, Houston does have more to play for here. Houston, they're actually in the wild card race now because Houston has fallen behind Seattle because Seattle's been hot. Or actually, they might be tied still because they both won yesterday, but Seattle has the tiebreaker, I believe. So Houston, they got to still win, man. They're trying to either win their division or get a wild card spot. Atlanta is out of it, but they are playing out the stretch. Atlanta, I thought they were going to show up yesterday for a game against Houston because Houston is still a pretty solid team coming into their place, but I was wrong. It was a terrible game for Atlanta yesterday. Houston has the better of these two bullpens and the better offense, but I don't think it's a significant edge. And with Houston's bullpen injuries, I think it's really not that much of an edge. Houston used more of their bullpen yesterday too, so I think the bullpen edge is pretty much not even really there for Houston. You could even argue maybe Atlanta has a bullpen edge at this point. Houston's is the better ERA overall, though. Atlanta's is actually fallen way off, so I think you still have to probably give the bullpen edge to Houston overall, even despite the injuries and everything and the usage. Starting pitching, on the surface, it looks like a complete mismatch. It looks like one good pitcher against one bad pitcher, but maybe I'm not so sure about that. Hunter Brown is pitching for Houston. He's having a really good season, 2.25 ERA, 1.01 whip. He's been almost the same home and away ERA-wise. Doesn't even matter. He's good either way. He's been really good again for well over a month now. Basically, since he had he was a little bit bad around the All-Star break. He got named to the All-Star team for the first time. Didn't pitch in the All-Star game, but then he turned it back around. And since his last start in July, he's allowed no more than 2 earned runs in any of his outings. And he's gone at least 6 innings in all but 2 of them. So he's been pretty much dominating. 1.67 ERA in August, 33-11 strikeout walk ratio. It is too many walks, so something to keep in mind. He's coming off a 6-inning shutout, a pretty big series there against Texas, where he did that in a pitcher-friendly ballpark against a weak lineup, though, in Texas. Had 8 strikeouts, 3 walks, 4 hits allowed. So, again, it was too many walks, but Brown, he is still striking out a lot of guys. He is still pitching well. His numbers against Atlanta are actually surprisingly not that good, though. In 29 at-bats, it is a small sample size, but 4-7 strikeout walk ratio, that's pretty questionable. And a 310 batting average allowed, an 858 OPS. Those are questionable numbers, but the question is, has he faced Atlanta this year? Did they do that to him this year? The answer is no. So Hunter Brown, early in his career, he had not found his stuff yet. Like, he was really bad early in his career. So I don't think that those numbers mean that much now, because he's so much better this year. He's like really, his career has started to take off. So I think his numbers against Atlanta were from back when he wasn't as good. So I think the way that he's pitched recently, the way that he's pitched this year matters more than those numbers against the Braves. So I think Brown should come out and pitch well here. He's going up against Bryce Elder, who is a guy I make fun of on the show most of the time. I think his name is kind of appropriate because he pitches like an Elder. Still, his numbers are bad on the season. 5.35 ERA, 1.41 whip. His numbers on his career haven't been good. He's been pretty bad at home, 6.44 ERA. I mean, that's really bad. But his last 4 starts have been good, and they were all against good offenses. Against the Mets, on the road at Philly, at the Cubs, and then at home against the Cubs. He allowed no more than 2 earned runs in any of those outings, went at least 6 innings in all of them, and he had a 21-5 strikeout walk over over that span, if I'm doing that math correctly on the fly there. So for some reason, Elder all of a sudden is in good form right now, which is ridiculous. So both of these pitchers actually are, although his numbers are not good against Houston. In 47 at-bats, 10-2 strikeout walk ratio is good, but a 298 batting average, 851 OPS. He has not been good against Houston. And did he face Houston this year? I believe he is not. Probably not, right? Because these teams don't play each other often. It's an interleague series, and I think they only play, if they play at all, I think they only play once a year. So, yeah, so these pitchers haven't been seen by these opposing hitters this year, which is a little bit of an edge to these pitchers. So, I actually kind of lean more towards recent form for these pitchers rather than what they've done against these starting lineups. So, I think it's possible an under is worth a look here, although you might want to go first 5 innings just because I don't know if I love the state of the bullpens or love Atlanta's bullpen. Total went up from 8 to 8.5, 70% of tickets, 78% of the cash coming in on the over. Money is coming in a bit on the over, but I could see it being a duel early on, man, between these two pitchers, surprisingly. And the money looks like it has come in on Houston, even though the public is on Houston. 93% of tickets, 97% of the cash. The line did move from minus 115 to minus 129. You're having to pay a price with Houston. I'm not entirely sure that it's worth it, although you could do it. I mean, Houston does have the less rested bullpen, although Atlanta's bullpen's not that good. I still do trust Brown more than Elder here, so I don't hate the lean towards Houston, but it looks like a bit of a price there, man. St. Louis at Milwaukee. This is going to be the only game on like general TV. Major League Baseball just gets no, like, it doesn't get televised anymore, man. It's insane. But we do have a Fox night game here between St. Louis and Milwaukee. We really get a great game here between one team that's got the best record in baseball, Milwaukee, and then a St. Louis team that's been the worst offense since the All-Star break and is completely out of it. So Milwaukee has the better offense. Milwaukee has a bit more to play for here because they're still trying to make sure that they hold on to they would like to get the 1 seed and have home field throughout the playoffs, and Philly is getting pretty close to them. So Milwaukee does need to kind of maintain that, even though it looks like they kind of put themselves on cruise control. They return home from a road trip, and they still won yesterday, 8-2 against St. Louis, even though they were in a bad spot. So take from that what you will, I guess, after they got swept by Texas in the prior series. Milwaukee did, but Milwaukee kind of bouncing back here. St. Louis, they will still show up for a game against Milwaukee, though. It's the team with the best record in baseball. It's a divisional foe, so St. Louis playing out the stretch. This is the type of series that will still matter, especially when it's on national TV at night. They will show up for it. St. Louis does have the better of the two bullpens still, so their hitting hasn't been good at all, but their bullpen is pretty solid. Starting pitching, I think the edge does go to Milwaukee here, and generally I like both of these starting pitchers. Sonny Gray is pitching for St. Louis, but I think he's just kind of tiring out at the end of the season, man. He's a little bit older. He's a small guy, so maybe he gets a little bit more tired. I don't know. He seems to be wearing down, though, because he is a solid pitcher, but it just hasn't been good for him as of late. His ERA is up to 4.45 on the season. 1.22 whip is all right. He's worse on the road, 5.24 road ERA. This month, he has a 7.94 ERA in 2 starts and an 11-7 strikeout walk ratio, and those are both starts at home, and he actually does better at home, so that's not a good sign, man. I skipped over that. On the road, his ERA is 5.24, so that's not good. He is worse on the road. So that's not looking that great for Gray. I don't think I trust him right now, man, even though more often than not, he does have good starts, but just recently he hasn't been very good. Against Milwaukee, not good numbers. They have a lot of familiarity with him. 141 at bats, 40-11 strikeout walk ratio is good, but 284 batting average. 846 OPS, allowed 5 different players have homered off him. So he doesn't do particularly well against Milwaukee. He's not good on the road. He's not really in good form. He definitely looks fadeable in this spot. He's going up against Brandon Woodruff for the Brewers, who has been good so far. Woodruff had a really good early portion of his career. He's now coming back from missing an entire season. He had Tommy John surgery, I'm pretty sure. He's back, and he pitched really well when he first came back. He's been a little bit worse more recently, but he's still overall been good this season. 3.32 ERA, 0.96 whip. He's been a little bit worse at home, though. 3.67 home ERA. He was really good early on. He allowed 2 or fewer earned runs when he first came back in 7 straight appearances. Then he had a lull where he had 3 bad starts in a row at the end of August against the Cubs, Arizona, Toronto, 2 of those on the road. Those were all good offenses. Bounced back nicely last time out against a bad Pittsburgh offense. 6 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts, no walks, 2 hits allowed. So he might be coming back into form here. And we know St. Louis does not have a very good offense either. And they've been really bad for a while now. So he should do better in this game. His numbers are very good against them at 40 at-bats, 15 strikeouts, 4 walks, 175 batting average, allowed 500 OPS. He's allowed a home run to Newt Bar, which the Newt Bar sounds like it sounds like a candy bar of some kind, man. The Newt Bar, it's a chocolate bar with plenty of different nuts in it. The Newt Bar. It's some, I don't know what it is. It's a, is that Dutch? Is that Danish? I don't know what that is. It's a Dutch chocolate bar with a bunch of different kinds of nuts in it, man. Eat your nuts with the Newt Bar. But yeah, Woodruff does have the edge here, man. So it is tempting to look towards Milwaukee in this game, to be honest. Looking at the bullpen rest scenario, Milwaukee only used 3 relief pitchers yesterday, although keeping in mind they have some injuries in their bullpen. And hilariously, Eric Fetty is in their bullpen, who was terrible in the starting rotation for St. Louis this year. They designated him for assignment. It's ridiculous that Milwaukee even decided to pick him up. St. Louis has the better bullpen still, though, and they used fewer relief pitchers yesterday. So I could see an even better argument for Milwaukee first 5 innings with Woodruff against Gray here. Oh, wait, what am I doing? It's not Woodruff anymore. I'm an idiot. I apologize. Misiorowski is pitching, not Woodruff. So we're going to have to dial that back. So I'm not going to give out a play on this. It's a different handicap with, whoops, I think I just, what did I just do? I think I just screwed up the, wait, what did I do? I don't even know what I just did. Am I still on the same screen here? I was sharing my screen and like Firefox fucked up. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm looking at here. Maybe we're still good. I don't know. Yeah, I think we're all right. We're still all right here. But anyway, Milwaukee, Misiorowski is pitching today. Sorry, I got thrown off by that. So he's young, very talented pitcher. What are we going to get out of him in this one, though? I don't know. It's interesting. He has a 4.09 ERA, which is a bit too high, but 1.09 whip. He's not allowing a lot of guys to reach base, man. He's wild. He walks too many guys. He's a very talented, hard-throwing rookie. Gets a lot of strikeouts. His issue is his walks. He issues too many walks. He is way better at home, though, 2.76 ERA at home. However, he's not going to have the unfamiliarity edge here that he has against some opponents because St. Louis saw him in his first appearance ever. He no-hit them for 5 innings, though. But he did walk 4 guys. So, again, he doesn't allow a lot of hits, but he walks a lot of guys. Had 5 strikeouts in that appearance. It was at home. So, we're returning to where he was when he made that start. So, he's going to try to repeat his first Major League start, man, his debut. But, I mean, you got to kind of weigh both factors, right? So he had an unfamiliarity edge there, which he doesn't have this time because St. Louis has now seen him. But then St. Louis they really stink offensively. And Misiorowski is a really good pitcher. So is he going to win out again here? He might. So as we can see here, St. Louis's hitters that are in their current lineup are 0 for 12 off him with 5 strikeouts and 4 walks, just like we saw on that pitching line there that he had. So Misiorowski is actually the starter here now. Milwaukee's down from minus 157 to minus 152. 89% of tickets on them, 92% of the cash on Milwaukee. I would still say a similar thing here. I think the lean is still to Milwaukee in the first 5 innings here, but I would be much more tempted to do it with Woodruff on the mound. You'd have to lay like the run line on it. It looks a little bit iffy, so I'm not going to recommend it. The total's at 7.5 with less juice on the over now, but 76% of tickets and 88% of the cash on the over. Even though on the surface it looks like it's going to be a pitching duel, so you could see some argument for maybe going under in the first 5, especially if you can get a 4 on that. But Gray, he's just in such bad form right now, and he's so bad on the road that I would worry about that quite a bit. Misiorowski, by the way, in his recent form is better. He had a good start last time out, although I think it was against Pittsburgh because that's who we saw that with Woodruff too. Pittsburgh is the offense that you bounce back against, man. So Misiorowski actually had a few pretty bad starts in a row against Cincinnati on the road, Chicago Cubs on the road, Arizona, Philly. Good offenses, but he struggled through those starts, and then he did better. Bounced back nicely last time out. 7 innings, 3 hits allowed, 1 earned run allowed against Pittsburgh. 8 strikeouts, 2 walks. So maybe he is coming back into form. He gets another easier offense to face here. So all things to keep in mind there. Colorado at San Diego. San Diego actually lost yesterday, so the teams have split the first 2 games of the series, 1-1. San Diego's still fighting for a wild card spot and to potentially try to win their division. I think it's pretty definitive they're going to at least get a wild card, though. Their record is really good. And they are really good at home, and they're not going to take Colorado lightly after losing to them yesterday. Colorado is still trying. I mean, this is the type of game they will show up for against a division foe where they can try to kind of spoil their season a little bit. They can't really spoil their season, but at least try to just deal them a loss or 2 in there. San Diego has the way better bullpen of the 2, and they only used 2 relief pitchers yesterday, so definitely a huge bullpen edge for San Diego. Colorado has used more of their bullpen recently as well. San Diego has the better offense, too, even though their offense isn't very good. We have 2 pretty bad offenses here for the most part. Colorado's really bad, especially on the road, though. It is a pitcher-friendly park here, keeping in mind. Bradley Blaylock is returning to the Rockies rotation after he was sent back down to the minors. I believe this is his rookie season. He was not very good. 8.62 ERA, 1.79 whip, really bad, although he's significantly better on the road. 4.37 ERA on the road. Coors Field, man, it just wrecks these pitchers. Like, they try to find pitchers that would do better in Coors Field, but that's not working out, man. So, yeah, Blaylock is at least a serviceable pitcher on the road. Before he got sent down to the minors, he was really bad in 3 straight starts, had a 12.21 ERA over 3 starts in August, 6 strikeouts and 11 walks, just absolutely terrible, way too many walks, gave up 5 home runs, 2 of those were at Coors Field, 2 of the games were against Arizona, but I'm not ready to trust Blaylock here, man. He's just not very good at this point, so against San Diego, his numbers are pretty awful. In 29 at-bats, 1 strikeout, 3 walks, 2 home runs allowed, 448 batting average, 1,224 OPS. Cronenworth and Sheets with the home runs there against him. I'm not ready to trust Blaylock at all here, man. So all that to keep in mind. I believe he faced San Diego this year. Yeah, he faced them once. That was his worst start probably ever. Especially, I think he's a rookie, right? So, oh, no, he's not. He was actually on Milwaukee for a bit last year, and then he made 6 starts for Colorado last year, although I don't think that qualifies as a rookie season. But his worst start of this season was against San Diego. He gave up 12 earned runs in 3 2/3. It was at Coors Field, but he got obliterated in that start. So, even though he'll do better than that this time out, that still doesn't mean he's going to do remotely well here. He's going up against Dylan Cease, who is obviously the better pitcher of the two. He's kind of struggling this year, though. I mean, he's been a lot worse this season than he has been in the past. 4.71 ERA, 1.34 whip. He's really inefficient with his pitches this year. He strikes out a lot of guys, so he walks a ton of guys. There's something off with him, man. He is better at home, at least. 3.89 ERA at home. He's given up 2 or fewer earned runs in the last 2 outings. 1 against Colorado, so he actually just faced Colorado in Coors Field, and he held them to 1 earned run in 5 innings. That's not bad. Does have a 3 ERA this month, 12-4 strikeout walk ratio. Didn't even make it 5 innings against Baltimore, though. Threw way too many pitches there. So all things to keep in mind there, but he does do well against Colorado typically in 56 at-bats, 25-7 strikeout walk ratio, 179 batting average allowed, 520 OPS. So even though they did just see him, I don't really expect him to actually do bad here. The price is like way too high in San Diego, though, down from minus 350 to minus 340. 82% of tickets, 97% of the cash on them. I don't think there's any way you can lay a price like that on them. I think if you were going to do this, I would probably actually lean to San Diego going over their team total, even though the total went down from 8.5 to 8. 50% of tickets on the under, 97% of the cash on the under. So the money is coming in on the under. If you wanted to go the other way and go Colorado under their team total, you could. I mean, San Diego's bullpen is good. Cease should come in and cease their bats well enough to get that, but it seems a little bit dicey to me. So I think San Diego could score even in this park against this Colorado pitching setup here. So that's maybe the way that I would look in that game. Dodgers at San Francisco. San Francisco got the win yesterday. Justin Verlander he didn't really outpitch Yamamoto yesterday necessarily, but he got the win. Both starting pitchers, I think, only allowed 1 run in the game. And I think it was actually the bullpens that won. Well, it makes sense because the Dodgers bullpen is not very good. San Francisco has the much better bullpen here, and I think that's what happened with the win there. It was a grand slam that won the game for San Francisco late in the game, it looks like, from Patrick Bailey. So Verlander, he walked 4 guys in the game, but he was fairly solid. He dueled Yamamoto in the game. San Francisco, they're playing like they're still trying to stay alive, man. They're definitely pretty hot right now. They're still technically in the wild card race, and I guess technically still in the division race. But they just punched the Dodgers in the mouth, so the Dodgers are probably going to come into this pissed off here. Dodgers obviously have the way better offense, so San Francisco has a huge bullpen edge, but the Dodgers have a huge offensive edge. As far as the bullpen usage, San Francisco only used 3 relief pitchers yesterday. One of them, Peguero, only threw 3 pitches, so he could pitch again here. Dodgers have had pretty light usage over the last couple days too, though. But their bullpen's just not that good. The starting pitching is interesting here. It's pretty good pitching matchup on the surface. Clayton Kershaw pitching for the Dodgers, even though he's not what he once was. He doesn't get as many strikeouts anymore, but he's still having a pretty solid season. 3.27 ERA, 1.16 whip. He's better on the road, 3.18 ERA on the road. This month, he hasn't been as good in 2 starts, 5.06 ERA and 11-5 strikeout walk ratio. But that was mostly because he had 1 pretty bad start against Pittsburgh, which is hard to explain, but he bounced back a bit with a start against Baltimore. He's not going that deep, though. He's gone 5 2/3 or fewer in his last 4 starts. Had a really good month the prior month in August, even though he still wasn't striking out a lot of guys. He wasn't walking a lot of guys. He allowed very few runs. he's still pretty much there. I mean, overall, he's still allowed 3 or fewer earned runs in all but one start going all the way back through the beginning of August. So he is still basically in decent form, I would say, for the most part. This is a pitcher-friendly park. San Francisco's offense isn't that good. 117 at-bats for him against San Francisco. He has a 35-8 strikeout-walk ratio, 188 batting average allowed, 496 OPS. So Kershaw does well against San Francisco, typically, although we do have to remember to keep in mind that he's not as good as he was for the most part when those stats were collected. So he might be a little bit worse than that. He's going up against Logan Webb, who is probably going to be able to outlast Kershaw in this game. Like, the one thing that he does is he goes deep into games, and he is a lot younger than Kershaw. He's got a 3.12 ERA, 1.22 whip on the season. Good stuff. He's good at home, 2.77 home ERA. He's been pretty good for a while now. He's allowed 2 or fewer earned runs in all but 2 starts going all the way back through his last start of July. Hasn't allowed more than 4 earned runs in any of the outings and allowed 3 or fewer in all but one of those outings. His team has won 5 straight starts of his. He's picked up wins in 4 of them. So he's in pretty good form right now for the most part. 2.45 ERA in 2 starts this month with a 14-4 strikeout walk ratio. That's all pretty solid. His numbers against the Dodgers are not very good, though. They have a lot of familiarity with him. 244 at-bats, 45-27 strikeout walk ratio. That is way too many walks. 307 batting average, 875 OPS. So he doesn't do that well against the Dodgers. Betts and Muncy both have multiple home runs off him, too. So it's a little bit iffy. On the surface, it looks like it's an under type of game here in a pitcher-friendly park, but I worry about those numbers, man. I worry that Kershaw is not going to last as long in the game, and Webb's numbers against the Dodgers are not that good. But we do see money coming in on the under. It's down from 7.5 juice to the over to 7.5 here. We have 50% of tickets on the under and 65% of the cash on the under. We'll see what happens, man. I would hesitate to want to do that. And the money is coming in on San Francisco. Dodgers down from -116 to -106. I think the thought is kind of that just San Francisco, there might be some value getting them. You're not usually going to get them as a home underdog with Webb on the mound. So I think the thought is that maybe you're just paying too much of a price for the Dodgers with Kershaw on the mound. It's about the name Kershaw, not really what he is now, though he is still solid at least this year. But 58% of tickets on the Dodgers, 74% of the cash coming in on the Giants. So do with that information what you will. The money is coming in on the Giants and the under. I'm not quite sure that I can get there with it, man, with what we just saw with the starting pitching and not trusting the Dodgers bullpen either. But otherwise, on the surface, it looked like it might be an under or first 5-inning under. But I worry about Webb's matchup numbers as well. Anaheim at Seattle. Seattle, they're still in a tie atop the AL West. This is not good for me as a Red Sox fan because we got multiple wild card teams here, multiple teams battling for wild card spots here. Don't like that. Seattle's on a hot streak right now. They've won 7 games in a row. They bolstered their offense at the trade deadline. They have the better offense over Anaheim, man, and they have the better bullpen. So Seattle has definitely some edges here. They've already won the first 2 games of this series, winning 2-1 yesterday. Again, Anaheim's bullpen is not good, but they're pretty at least rested right now because they only used 1 relief pitcher yesterday, so they at least have a lot of bullpen arms available. Seattle's actually had more usage because they used 3 guys yesterday, although Seattle still has the better bullpen. Anaheim's is just really bad. The starting pitching matchup is interesting. Mitch Farris is pitching for Anaheim. He is a rookie. He's only made 2 starts in his career. Anaheim won both those games. He has a 2.45 ERA, 0.82 whip over that span. He was pretty solid. I mean, he went 5 innings, gave him 1 earned run at Kansas City. I mean, I know they're not a very good offense, so that was a good start for him. And then followed that up with another pretty good start against the A's, who have a much better lineup. He went 6 innings, allowed 2 earned runs, both on solo homers. Wasn't at the A's stadium, though. Was at home. 7-3 strikeout walk ratio overall is not great, but he looks okay. I never really handicapped him because I don't think I realized that he was making his major league debut, so I don't think I ever looked at his scouting report. But I'm just looking at his numbers here, and he's proven that he can pitch at the major league level, man. He's been good so far in his first 2 starts. And, of course, Seattle's never seen him before, and it is a pitcher-friendly park, so he might pitch well here. He's going up against Brian Wu, who's quite good for the Mariners, 3.02 ERA, 0.95 whip, very low whip. He's really good at home, too, 2.4 ERA at home. He's just continuing to pitch really well, 3 or fewer earned runs allowed in every start, going all the way back through the beginning of August. He remains in good form, even though he does have a 4.09 ERA this month. Still, he allowed 3 and 2 earned runs in those starts. And the worst of the two was at Tampa Bay's stadium, which is a very hitter-friendly spring training stadium. So I'm not going to dock him for that. 12-3 strikeout walk ratio this month. That is good. Woo is good. We know this. He's good against Anaheim, 253 at-bats, 12 strikeouts, 2 walks. Has allowed 2 home runs, but they're both Adele. But Adele was dealing with vertigo, so I don't even know what the deal is with Adele. He didn't play last night. I don't know what he did play the night before that. He only had 1 at bat though. It looks like, I don't know. So Adele, we don't even know if he's going to be in the lineup, and he's the one guy in their lineup who actually does any damage against. If you take him out of the lineup, it's ridiculous. Anaheim only has 4 other hits against Woo, and none of them are extra base hits. So Woo could pretty much run through this lineup for the most part. And even with Adele counted, a 151 batting average of 465 OPS overall is what Woo is allowed to Anaheim. So I do think Woo will pitch well here. You're getting taxed for Seattle. They're up from minus 210 to minus 218, 81% of tickets, 98% of the cash coming in at Seattle. I wouldn't really disagree with Seattle. I mean, they obviously have the better bullpen. They do have probably the better starting pitcher here. I mean, I think definitely they do. Ferris doesn't look like he's too bad in his own right, though, so I definitely see arguments for a first 5-inning under in this game as well. The total's sitting at 7.5, 62% of tickets on the under, 69% of the cash on the over, though. Money looks like it's coming in on the over. I mean, I could see Woo just coming through and just ripping through Anaheim, though, so, I mean, I don't know. I could see Anaheim under their team total as maybe a play here as well. Or I could see maybe under first 5 innings because you want maybe avoid Anaheim's bullpen here. I could see both starting pitchers getting locked into a duel there. And then Cincinnati at the A's. Both these teams playing hitter-friendly parks. So, man, this is a hitter-friendly park for the A's. Playing in this awful spring training stadium. The A's won yesterday 3-0. A low-scoring game. Strange. These teams both don't really have very good bullpens. The A's is the worst of the two. Their bullpen still is pretty atrocious. Cincinnati's is mediocre. The A's have the better offense. Cincinnati's offense is mediocre, I would say. Cincinnati only used 1 relief pitcher in the last 2 days. They've had very light bullpen usage, so their bullpen is at least in good rest shape here. The A's not so much. They used 4 relief pitchers yesterday, so Cincinnati does have a bullpen edge here. And I think they have a starting pitching edge with Hunter Green on the mound. He's been really good for them. 2.59 ERA, 0.93 whip. He did come back from injury not too long ago. Green is a bit worse on the road, though. 3.89 road ERA. But since he's come back from injury, he's been good, which was in mid-August. He's allowed 3 or fewer earned runs in every single start. He's got at least 5 innings in every single start. And the only one where he only went 5 was against the Dodgers, and that was his one. That was like the worst start of his since coming back. So he is pitching well. I mean, that's a good lineup, the Dodgers. He has a good strikeout rate. He's had double-digit strikeouts in 2 of these outings. This month, he has a 1.35 ERA, 19-3 strikeout walk ratio against Toronto and the Mets, although both those starts were at home. But he's pretty much dominating right now, so he is in form for sure. He allowed very few hits in those outings, too, against solid lineups. The A's are a solid lineup, too, and they don't have much experience against Green at all. They're 0 for 7 against him, 4 strikeouts and 1 walk. So he looks like he should be pitching well in this game, too, man, even though it is a weird stadium to pitch in. So I don't quite want to give this out as a play, but I do like Cincinnati here. I think they have a starting pitching edge and a bullpen edge here. I think Green definitely could come in and pitch well, and that unfamiliarity aspect of it, he could definitely come in and mow down some of these A's hitters, and his strikeout rate is so high that might kind of counteract how bad the stadium is. And the fact that he's used to pitching in a hitter-friendly park might help him too. He's going up against Luis Severino. I mean, he's having a season that's been kind of all over the place, but mostly, generally, he's good on the road and bad at home. So he is pitching at home here. He's got a 4.67 ERA, 1.31 whip. As I said, pitching in this stadium has been difficult for him. 6.34 ERA at home, so he has not been good at home. The last time he pitched at home, he did okay against Seattle, gave up 1 earned run here, so that was a good sign for him. But other than that, he's been really, really a train wreck. So that looks like it was maybe more of an outlier. He's been really bad at home. He looks like he's in good form recently. Only pitched once in August, then he got hurt, and then he came back this month, and he has a 2.7 ERA since then, 11-2 strikeout walk ratio, but Both starts are on the road. So again, something to keep in mind there. He's much, much worse in this stadium, but he is really good against the Reds in his career. 47 at-bats, 20 strikeouts, 6 walks, 170 batting average, and 519 OPS. So I hesitate to actually fade Severino. If he had bad numbers against the Reds, I think I would probably just do it. I still lean to the Reds. There is a reason why they're a road favorite here, even though the public might even kind of have a tendency to maybe look towards the A's. Cincinnati's sitting at minus 115 here. 83% of tickets, 93% of the cash on them. So, I mean, I'm not going to disagree with that. I like Hunter Green a lot more than Severino, especially in this park. Even though we don't really know what he's going to do in this park, or Green, but we know Severino is not good here. So, lean to Cincinnati in that one. Cincinnati does have more to play for, at least, even though it looks like the public is kind of on them too. Cincinnati, again, they're still trying to fight for a wild card spot, and they're starting to fall out of it. A's just kind of playing out the stretch here. And, of course, Seattle has way more to play for than Anaheim, by the way. Seattle fighting for the division there, fighting for a wild card, whatever, and Anaheim is out of it and not a very good team. So, keeping all that in mind, let's go to the best bets, and then I will get out of here. We're going to do 2 plays here. Maybe they're a little bit questionable, but I don't know. But we're going to we'll get this wrong, though, because I'm going to go I'm going to take a different approach to what I have been doing, and I'm going to go over 8.5 in Rangers-Mets this time. I don't know about the market read on this one, man, so I'm doing something that maybe you wouldn't expect, but we do have 93% of tickets, 97% of the cash on the over. Total slightly dropped from 9 juice to the under very heavily to 8.5 juice to the over very heavily, but I don't think that's a huge move, even though the 9 is a key number. I mean, depending on what book they're getting that from, that's a pretty minor move. I know the public's on the over here, but I think the money is actually coming on the over here, and I like the over here with Texas and the Mets, man, even though I know Texas' bullpen is good. I know Texas' offense is not that good. But Texas' offense is a little bit better away from home, so that's going to help us here. The Rangers' bullpen, yes, I know it's very well rested, but the Mets' offense is good, so that's going to help us out here too. The Mets have the better offense. Both of these teams are going to show up, which, does kind of lend itself more towards an under sometimes because the fielding is going to be focused. The pitching is going to be focused. Texas is still trying to fight for potentially their division or for a wild card. The Mets are trying to make sure they maintain a wild card spot because they're falling apart, man, which might motivate the Reds a little bit more. Mets bullpen has seen a lot of usage, which is also part of this handicap. So their bullpen is okay. They're the worst of the two, but man, their bullpen's seen a lot of usage here. So Texas does have a bullpen edge coming into this one, but their bullpen might come into the game a little bit early because they got Patrick Corbin on the mound. So part of this handicap is we're going to fade Patrick Corbin. He's starting to turn into the Corbin that we remember from the last few years, which is not good. 4.36 ERA, 1.32 whip. I think his early season numbers are kind of an outlier, man. I don't think that was the real Corbin. He's not that good. He puts too many men on base, and he's particularly bad on the road. 5.63 road ERA. That's bad. This month, he hasn't been that great. 4.76 ERA, though 10-2 strikeout walk ratio is good. Did face Arizona, which is the start where he got lit up. So 2 of his last 3 starts have actually been good, but against Anaheim and Houston, those are okay offenses, but the Mets are a much better offense. I'm not going to consider him to be in great form here, and the Mets do hit him well, and they have a ton of experience against him. 255 at-bats, 55-22 strikeout walk ratio, lots of 2s and 5s. That's not a good ratio. 298 batting average, allowed an 847 OPS, so he does not do well against the Mets. They have a lot of experience against him. They have 3 different batters that have multiple home runs against him too. So I think he's going to struggle here. He's going up against Brandon Sproat, who is a rookie. I talked about him going into his first start, and I faded him with the Reds. He did better than I thought he would, but he kind of escaped in that game. He went 6 innings at the Reds Stadium. It is a difficult park to pitch in, but the hits and the home runs weren't the problem. He gave up 3 on runs, but he was wild. He walked 4 guys. Maybe you could argue that he was nervous in his first major league start. Struck out 7, which is a decent sign, but I'm still going to fade Sproat here as part of this over as well. And again, I don't like the state the Mets bullpen is in either. So, yes, I know he's facing a weak Texas lineup. I know he's unfamiliar to them, but I looked at Sproat's numbers, part of the handicap that I had, which was a close win for me with the Reds there. But he was not good in AAA, man, Sproat. His numbers were not very impressive there. So, I just don't know, man. It looked like some of his pitches were still kind of a work in progress, so we will see. I mean, I could be wrong. Sometimes these young pitchers, especially when they have the unfamiliarity edge, do a little bit better. But this game, we're going to go over. And these teams have also been playing a lot of overs recently, so the offenses are in good form, decent form right now. Texas has played 3 overs in a row, and the Mets have been involved in 4 overs in a row. They've been on the losing end of it, so I know they haven't been the team that's been scoring, but they've been allowing a lot of runs, so that's still part of the equation as well. So it'll be over in that one, and then to finish it off, we're gonna have a split bet on Cleveland because they're favored by too much, but I think it's almost justified here. But we're gonna try to make our own -1 run line. If you want to go find a -1 run line, you could do that too. But doing the split bet, I think is a little bit better because if they win outright, you'll win a small amount on it. If they win by 1 run exactly, you'll win a small amount on it. And you can find multiple books, right? You can play the money line at one book and the run line at a different book, so you can get better prices on them that way. So I've found -1.5 run line in Cleveland at plus money, plus 135. The money line looks like it's around -165. Cleveland is a little bit public. They've been hot, but we're going to kind of jump on that streak there. I mean, baseball can be streaky, even though a lot of times I will not want to go on a team that's been hot because sometimes they're overrated or overvalued. Where's this game? But in this game, I mean, I'm not quite so sure about that. Yeah, here it is. Cleveland's up from -150 to -160. They are public, 94% of tickets, 99% of the cash on them. So I am a little bit worried that we're joining the public here, but I think it's the right way to go here, man. Cleveland, they actually still have something to play for. They're actually in the wild card hunt, believe it or not, and they're not completely out of their division either. They're playing well, and Tanner Bybee threw a complete game 2-hit shutout yesterday, so he kind of bounced back in a big way yesterday against a team that actually I think had decent numbers against him, surprisingly, because the White Sox offense is not good. The White Sox were playing better, but I'm not sure that's going to continue here, man. Cleveland, they have a bit more to play for now, even though the White Sox, yeah, they could argue maybe we want to spoil Cleveland's season, but Cleveland's just hot right now too, man. They've won 7 of their last 8 games. I know they shut out the White Sox yesterday, so the White Sox might be motivated to try to bounce back from that, but Cleveland saved their bullpen, and they have the significantly better of these 2 bullpens too. But Bybee pitched a complete game yesterday, so Cleveland's bullpen is completely rested. The White Sox didn't use a lot of their bullpen either. They only used Steven Wilson, not the musician from Porcupine Tree, but a different Steven Wilson. Shout out there to the Prog Rock. I'm actually seeing Steven Wilson in a couple of weeks. I have these tickets that I bought a long, long time ago, man, and I'm just going to go. I mean, I love Wilson, so I'm still going to go to his show. But, yeah, Cleveland, they still have the better bullpen, man. Even though both bullpens are rested, Cleveland's even more rested. They have the better bullpen. They got the better starter as well, and I mean, I do think the White Sox have the better offense, but it's not significant. Both these offenses are bad. They're both in the bottom 3 offensively, so it's debatable which one of these offenses is even better. Davis Martin is pitching for the White Sox. I know I worry a little bit about having a run line component to our bet here because it is a matchup where both teams might not score a lot, but the money does look like it's coming in on the over in this game, so that might help us. 61% of tickets, 83% of the cash on the over total at 8 here, so maybe it'll be a little bit of a higher scoring game than we're used to with these offenses, so that can help us maybe get the run line portion of this here. Davis Martin for the White Sox, he's been okay, 4.03 ERA, 1.28 whip. He's worse on the road, so we're going to play into his split here, 4.48 road ERA on the road. That's not good. He hasn't been that good this month, even though he has a 3.97 ERA. 7-6 strikeout walk ratio is ugly. I mean, he's been walking a lot of guys recently. Hasn't been in good form, really. I mean, he's kind of keeping his team in games, but other than that, he hasn't been that good. Last time out against Cleveland, he was at home. He allowed 3 earned runs in 5 innings, had more walks than strikeouts. That's not great for him. And overall against Cleveland, he's not very good. In 39 at-bats, 6-5 strikeout walk ratio. They've hit him around 308 batting average, 874 OPS, a couple of home runs from Manzardo and Hedges. So Martin has not been very good against them, man. So Cleveland can hit him. And we got Parker Messick pitching for Cleveland, and he's a rookie who's been, for the most part, pitching pretty well, man. He's got a 1.93 ERA. I know his whip is a little bit too high, 1.33. We'll talk about that in a minute. It's mostly because of one bad start. He still is not allowed to run at home. He has a 0 ERA at home, although that was in 1 start, but it was a good one. a 7-inning, 4-hit shutout with no walks, 6 strikeouts against Tampa Bay. He had one really bad start against the Red Sox at Fenway where they knocked him around, but I'm seeing some signs that he's good, man, because he really has not had an easy opponent. His easiest game was the home game against Tampa Bay. So he's actually stepping down in class to face the White Sox. The White Sox will be the worst offense that he's faced by far. He actually debuted by going 6 2/3 and allowing only 1 earned run at Arizona. That's a good sign. And then his last start, he faced a team that had already seen him once, Tampa Bay, and Tampa didn't even hit him. They still couldn't hit him, even though it was in Steinbrenner Field, very hitter-friendly ballpark. They still couldn't hit him. In 6 innings, 1 earned run allowed, 4 strikeouts, no walks. Overall, he has an 18-3 strikeout walk ratio, so that's solid. He's allowed too many hits, but basically that all came in that one bad start against the Red Sox. So that looks like more of an outlier because he's been excellent. Otherwise, has really good command numbers. The White Sox, very weak offense, and they've never seen him before. So I think Messick is going to come out and pitch well on this one. So we'll go with the Cleveland Indians on the run line, and that's going to do it, man. Once again, my plays for the day: college football, Temple, plus 24. Missouri State, plus 28. Miami of Florida, minus 17.5. I know you got to lay the hook on that one now, but I think they should get it done. Vandy would get a little bit of a worse number there too, plus 3, but I like it. And baseball, I don't like it as much. Over in Rangers, Mets, and Cleveland Indians. Half bet on the run line, half bet on the money line. Thanks for hanging out. Charles, Anna, Nate, I think was in here, right? Thanks for hanging out this morning. I'll be back again tonight, I guess, with maybe 2 shows because I might do a WNBA bracket breakdown quickly, and then I will have the NFL show with the late night degenerate hours, but at least that one is shorter than the college football show, so we'll get that done. It'll be fun, so hang out with me again tonight, late night. That's going to do it for now. Learn to toad. I almost said Tower Gang again. Learn to toad on Twitter. Learn to toad on Instagram. Bettor Off Dead, like, subscribe to the channel. Let's get us some more views here, man. Let's pump this thing up, get monetized. We're monetized on the audio, so I want to get some of the dough rolling in over there. Give me a good review on Spotify, Apple. I'm over there. Covered in Uke is my Uke channel on YouTube. I know, as I always say, I have to keep it more up to date than I do. I'm sorry, man. I feel like I'm just way too busy all the time, even though I don't even have a real job right now. I should get paid for all this shit. So I should be betting and I should be winning money. That's probably what I should be doing because that's a lot of my focus right now. It's all stupid. And then what else do we have? Patreon.com/LearnToToad. You can throw me some support there. So you can help me there as well. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Charles. You're biased, though. You just like me, man. Tower Gang forever, of course. That's going to do it. But yeah, Patreon, there's some Uke at the bonus levels, which I have to get that up to date. But the weekends during football season are very, very busy too. So I'm going to have to get some lunch. I'm actually going to be down at my parents' as well. So going to be there for a while today as well. But that's going to do it for now. Have a good day, everybody, for now. Let's get some wins today. Enjoy the football, especially today. And peace out, everybody.